The news swirled around, a storm of secrets and shadows, where rumors became reality and reputations hung by a thread. High-profile names whispered in hushed voices, the details only discussed behind closed doors. Among these names, Oprah Winfrey stood out, not just as a media mogul, but now as someone allegedly tied to figures with unsettling backgrounds. The public couldn't get enough of the gossip, their fascination growing as every headline hinted at a darker truth. People weren't just shocked by the connection, they were reeling from the possibility that Oprah, of all people, could be involved in something far beyond her daytime talk shows and charity work. Meanwhile, in an office tucked away from the spotlight, an attorney was approached with a proposition that seemed straight out of a Hollywood thriller. The offer was intriguing, dangerous even, a request to help sell a highly confidential tape involving none other than the music mogul, Diddy. The attorney, whose name was Ariel, had been involved in many high-stakes deals before, but this was different. The weight of this deal was almost tangible. Ariel didn't need to know every detail to feel the intensity of the situation. Just hearing that it involved Diddy was enough. The mere mention of his name brought a whole set of unspoken implications. As the conversation unfolded, Ariel found themselves conflicted. On one hand, the idea of being part of such a significant deal was professionally thrilling, but on the other, the knowledge of what the tape might contain cast a long shadow. Ariel couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just a business opportunity. It felt like stepping into a moral gray area that might pull them down. They wanted to help their client, someone whose identity was closely guarded, but they couldn't ignore the ethical weight of the situation. The person on the other end of the line seemed desperate, driven by a need that went beyond money. There was fear, regret, maybe even shame. And as more details started to emerge, it became clear why this person had reached out for help. This wasn't just any tape. It was a recording with the power to topple reputations, to shake the industry to its core. Ariel could feel the pressure mounting with every word exchanged. They didn't even know all the specifics, yet the gravity of the situation was palpable. The client hinted at the nature of the tape, intimate, revealing, something no one would ever want in the public eye. They spoke with a tremor in their voice, an unsteady cadence that betrayed their attempts at calmness. Ariel knew the type. This was someone teetering on the edge, unsure of how to navigate the storm that was quickly closing in around them. This conversation wasn't just about money or fame. It was about protection, survival, maybe even redemption. Hollywood was full of such stories, powerful people hiding dark secrets, truths that, if revealed, could bring entire empires crashing down. Yet here they were, caught between the pressure to keep a client's trust and the unease of potentially unleashing a scandal of epic proportions. Every detail Ariel learned felt like one more piece in a massive puzzle, one that was beginning to show a very dark picture. The person behind this tape seemed to be unraveling, burdened by a decision they never thought they'd have to make. Ariel wanted to tell them to walk away, to destroy the tape and live in peace, but they knew it wasn't that simple. In Hollywood, secrets didn't just disappear. Once you were in for life, bound by unwritten rules that went beyond any contract. They both knew that the tape held more than just a person's private moments. It held leverage, perhaps even blackmail. Ariel's client was stuck, trapped in a game where every player knew too much, and any misstep could be the end. Ariel was aware that, while Hollywood glittered on the outside, behind the scenes it was a tangled web of alliances, secrets and debts that never really got paid. In a place where trust was rare and betrayal was common, this tape represented everything that was wrong with the industry. It was a weapon, a ticking time bomb that could destroy lives with just a few seconds of footage. And the person on the other end of Ariel's call knew this too well. They were desperate to find a way out, hoping that Ariel could somehow help them navigate this treacherous path. As they continued talking, Ariel could sense the tension in every word the client spoke and their fear almost infectious. They were terrified, not just of what would happen if the tape was released, but of who might come after them if they tried to sell it. This was Hollywood after all, and powerful people had a way of ensuring their secrets stayed hidden. Ariel listened carefully, absorbing every detail, every hint, and trying to understand the full scope of the situation. It was clear that this wasn't just about one person's reputation. It was about the very fabric of an industry built on illusion. The call ended, but the unease lingered. Ariel sat alone, the weight of what they'd just heard settling over them like a thick fog. They knew they were in over their head, caught up in something far bigger than themselves. This wasn't just another case. It was a labyrinth of lies, half-truths, and moral dilemmas that had no clear resolution. Ariel was left with a choice: to stay silent and protect their client's trust, or to confront the dark truth that lay hidden in that tape. It was a choice that would haunt them, one that would force them to confront the very nature of the industry they served. And as Ariel wrestled with these thoughts, they couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. The revelation left everyone speechless. Ariel Mitchell Kidd, the seasoned attorney known for taking on powerful figures, had just dropped a bombshell on live television. She spoke with Laura Engel in an exclusive interview on News Nation, revealing that there weren't just one or two tapes but three, featuring Sean Diddy Combs and potentially even Oprah Winfrey. The idea that two of the biggest names in Hollywood might be caught up in a scandal like this was nearly unthinkable. And yet, here she was, calmly stating that these tapes were real, quietly passed around by Hollywood elites, hidden from the public for staggering amounts of money. Ariel explained that these tapes weren't just part of any ordinary scandal. They were part of what's called a catch-and-kill operation. In Hollywood, this tactic is used by the rich and powerful to protect themselves from scandal. The concept was simple but ruthless. If someone managed to record something compromising, like these tapes, they'd be paid off to keep it buried forever. It wasn't about justice or accountability. It was about control, power, and keeping secrets locked away from the prying eyes of the public. The tapes weren't meant to be seen. They were a tool to maintain the carefully crafted facades of some of the industry's biggest stars. Mitchell Kidd shared more details, mentioning that someone had approached her about brokering a deal for one of these tapes. But despite the money and influence involved, she refused to be part of it. She couldn't justify helping to cover up something that seemed so inherently wrong. These tapes, she revealed, had been recorded without the participants' knowledge, capturing moments meant to be private. It was a disturbing layer to the story that added a sense of violation, as though the people on the tapes had been stripped of their privacy for the amusement and leverage of others. This wasn't the first time Ariel had been on the front lines of scandal in Hollywood. She had represented Adria English, who accused Diddy of sex trafficking and had faced off against powerful figures time and again. But this, she admitted, felt different. It was as if every past case had led her here, to the edge of a revelation that could rock Hollywood to its core. The stakes felt higher, the implications graver, and the names involved were almost unimaginable. It was hard for people to comprehend that someone as beloved as Oprah and as influential as Diddy could be linked to something this scandalous. The question hanging over everything was, how had Oprah's name even come up? She had built her empire on being America's voice of reason and comfort, a beacon of empathy and kindness. People trusted her. She was Oprah after all. Yet now, her reputation was shadowed by this hint of scandal. Could she have unknowingly been involved, or was it all a twisted fabrication? And then there was the even bigger question. If these tapes truly existed, how had they managed to stay hidden for so long? Hollywood was known for leaks and sensational headlines, yet this was a scandal that had been brewing quietly in the background, hidden in the shadows, known only to a select few. The idea that these tapes had been recorded without consent added a sinister edge to the story. Hollywood was already notorious for its dark secrets, but this was something different. It was one thing to have rumors and gossip. It was another entirely to have tangible evidence locked away, being passed around like currency among the elite. The fact that these tapes were being kept hidden by powerful individuals, willing to pay millions to ensure they never saw the light of day, hinted at just how damning the contents must be. The industry's biggest stars were playing a dangerous game, balancing their reputations on a knife's edge. And for the first time, Ariel began to question the very nature of fame and power in Hollywood. This wasn't just a scandal, it was an entire ecosystem built on secrets and control. It was as if fame came at a price a constant balancing act where one wrong step could mean the end of everything. Ariel knew that people in Hollywood did what they could to survive, to keep their positions and maintain their status. But there was something chilling about how far they were willing to go, about the lengths they traveled to keep these tapes hidden. Ariel continued speaking, her voice calm but full of conviction. She knew what she was saying was dangerous, that by exposing this secret, she was challenging some of the most powerful people in the industry. She was risking her career, maybe even her safety, by shedding light on something that no one wanted the public to know about. But Ariel had come to terms with that. She couldn't look away, couldn't ignore the ethical weight of what she had uncovered. This wasn't just a scandal to her. It was a moral issue, a line that shouldn't have been crossed. People couldn't stop talking about what she'd revealed. The thought that Hollywood's elite were trading tapes, essentially blackmailing one another to keep their secrets safe, was almost too much to believe. Yet, the more Ariel shared, the more it made sense. People in positions of power often had secrets they'd do anything to protect. And in an industry where everyone knew everyone, where connections were currency, those secrets became a way to control others. It wasn't just about fame, it was about influence, about maintaining an image at all costs. But there was a sad irony in all of this. For years, Hollywood had been a place where people came to escape, to reinvent themselves, to find fame and fortune. Yet here were its most famous figures, caught in a web of lies and deceit, forced to protect their reputations at any cost. Ariel could see that this wasn't just about individual scandals. It was a reflection of the industry as a whole, a place where success and moral compromise often went hand in hand. And as much as the public was shocked, Ariel knew that this was only the tip of the iceberg. In the days that followed, the story continued to spread, people dissecting every word of Ariel's interview. The idea that there were tapes of Hollywood's elite, hidden away and kept secret, had the public enthralled. It was the ultimate glimpse behind the curtain, a rare look at the darkness lurking beneath the glitz and glamour. Ariel watched as the media buzzed with speculation, as people debated whether the tapes would ever be released or if the secrets would stay buried. She felt a strange mix of satisfaction and unease, knowing she had played a part in bringing these truths to light. Yet, as Ariel looked back on everything, she couldn't help but wonder what the future held. Hollywood was changing, slowly but surely, with more stories of misconduct and exploitation coming to the surface. But for every scandal exposed, there were likely dozens still hidden, locked away in the minds of the industry's most powerful. Ariel knew that the battle was far from over. This revelation might be a turning point, but it was only the beginning of a much larger reckoning. And as she thought about the tapes, about the people who would go to any length to protect them, she realized just how deep the darkness went.